Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott. When I released my review of the new Viltrox EVO 55mm f1.8, immediately I started getting requests from many of you in the audience to compare it to Viltrox's existing 50mm f2 AIR. And I can understand why, because I gave it a very positive review, as did many others, and a number of you ended up buying it. Now, you may be experiencing a little bit of either buyer's remorse or some uncertainty as to whether or not this new EVO lens is a significant upgrade of your existing lens. So I'm going to put them head to head, and I have shot a lot of different head-to-head comparisons, and I have stared long and hard at the results, and I think I have some conclusions to share with you here today. So we're going to dive in and look at how they compare when it comes to the size, the build, the features, when it comes to autofocus, their use for video, and then most importantly, maybe their optical performance. So without further ado, let's jump into the showdown. Starting in round one with build and handling, and here we have some obvious wins for the AIR series when it comes to the pricing. The new EVO lens comes to market at an MSRP of $370 US. As with all Viltrox lenses, there's always ways to get them cheaper. That being said, MSRP $370 for the EVO, $199 or basically $200 for the AIR series lens. And so not quite half the price, but not far off either. Furthermore, as is pretty obvious, the AIR series lens is significantly smaller and lighter than is the EVO lens. In terms of size, the EVO lens is 69mm in diameter. The AIR series lens is 65mm. So minus 4mm in terms of the diameter. The EVO lens is 78mm in length, and here is where the EVO lens is, or excuse me, the AIR series lens is much smaller. It is 56.5mm in length, and so that means that the EVO lens is a full 21mm longer. That's obviously a significant factor if your goal is to travel as ultimately small and light as possible. Now, when it comes to the weight, the EVO lens is 385 grams versus just 205 grams for the AIR series lens. So we are talking, again, not quite a, half the weight, but pretty close to it at this point. And so this is going to be obviously a particular advantage if you are using something like a Sony a7C series camera. I've actually done this comparison on Nikon because I had a Z mount of each one of these lenses, and so that was where I was able to compare. And Nikon doesn't really have a compact travel body in the way that Sony does, but if you're wanting to travel really small and light, obviously the AIR series lens is, well, it's right there in the name. AIR gives you the advantage when it comes to being lightweight. However, after those three wins in those three different categories, things really shift in the other direction when you start to look at other attributes here. So when it comes to the feature set, obviously this is no competition. The EVO series, one of the things that I love about the EVO series is they are remarkably robust in terms of the feature set. Whereas you just have a manual focus ring, or here on Z mount, a customizable control ring. On the EVO lens, you have got full aperture control. You've got the ability to declick the aperture. You've got a custom button there. You've got an AF/MF switch. And then of course you have a nice manual focus ring as well. And so in sum total, I mean, basically the AIR series has no features. The EVO lens has lots of features. What's more, the EVO has a nice degree of weather sealing with a rubber gasket at the rear lens mount. And then there are about 6 other seal points, a little bit lower grade, a felt type seal point inside, but when you consider that the AIR series has no seal points, obviously that's a pretty obvious win for the EVO. And just the build quality in general, this is a higher end lens. I've had no problems with the AIR series lenses. I don't want to be overly critical here. Yes, they're all plastic, but they feel tough, and so far they've been tough in my use. But the EVO series lens definitely feels more upscale. It feels like a higher end lens, and of course, that's exactly what it is. Still a strong value. Another big win comes from the minimum focus distance and maximum magnification. The 55mm EVO lens can focus as closely as 43 centimeters, whereas the 50mm AIR lens can only focus as 51 centimeters. So as you might expect, it's a dramatic difference in the amount of magnification. And as you can see here, the EVO's 0.16 times rating vastly exceeds the 0.10 times we get from the AIR series lens, and it makes a huge difference in how much you can fill the frame. That depends on whether or not that's a big factor for you. For me, it's a really big deal. And so I really appreciate having that higher level of magnification. Now, as far as a couple of other similarities here that are kind of neutral things, both of them have 9 aperture blades. Both of them have a 58mm front filter thread. And, both of them have a USB-C port for firmware updates. Those things all stay similar. So coming out of this round, there are 3 points for the EVO lens, 3 points for the AIR series lens. It wins all of the price, size, and weight categories, whereas the EVO wins all of the build features, those type of categories. Moving on to round 2, where we're going to focus on autofocus. Now, a quick caveat, as of yesterday, which was April the 29th, I made sure that both of them were up to their most recent firmware. And so for the AIR series lens, that's firmware version 1.02. For the EVO, that's version 1.04. And so both of them are as current as they can get at the moment. Both of these have STM style focus motors. Both of them focus very quietly. Both of them focus accurately in my tests. And I haven't had issues with either one of them in terms of accuracies. But where we start to kind of break down the performance beyond that, what I found as far as pure focus speed, they're very, very close. I think maybe the EVO lens is ever so slightly faster, but as you can see as we go back and forth here, either indoors or out of doors, there really isn't any kind of meaningful difference at all between the two. And both of them move back and forth with good but not great speed. They're not top notch in terms of focus speed, but both of them are fast enough to get the job done. And so it's hard for me to declare a winner on that front. I will say, however, in the focus confidence, when I'm looking at those tests and going back and forth and looking at the actual quality of focus, not just getting there, but then in locking in the subject accurately, as I looked very carefully at my videos, comparing in identical conditions back and forth, I found that very slightly there's a little bit more focus confidence for the EVO. Remember, it also has a small, but in some situations meaningful advantage when it comes to having a brighter maximum aperture. That just means that in low light situations, there's a little bit more light that's going to reach the sensor and thus the focusing algorithms. And so as a byproduct, I'm going to give a 1-point win to the EVO. So at the conclusion of this round, with 1 more point added, that's 4 points for the EVO lens. The AIR got 0 points in this round, so it stays with 3 points. Now in round number 3, we're going to start to look at video performance, and particularly when it comes to focus in video scenarios. And so both of them, in terms of doing my touch to focus test, focus pull type test, what I found is that the actual touching was a little bit more responsive on the AIR series lens. It was more likely to make a focus change when I tapped on the screen to a new focus point. However, when on the EVO lens, I felt like the focus pulls themselves were a little bit smoother and locked on with just a little bit more confidence. That same kind of thing that we saw when it came to the stills focus test. And so I'm going to give a draw there because there's a little bit more responsiveness with the AIR series, but a little bit more consistency and accuracy with the EVO lens. What I did find in that test and some secondary test is that the AIR series lens delivers far less focus breathing than what the EVO does. There's a more noticeable lurch back and forth as subjects change shape as you're looking at the EVO lens. What I found if you're going to switch to manually focusing is that the EVO lens had just a little better feel to it. And as I was focusing back and forth, I could achieve roughly similar results. but I felt like I had a little bit more precision, maybe just a little bit more responsiveness and a little more quality of feel in the focus ring itself, thus delivering a little bit better results as I went back and forth. And so after this round, I would say that there was 1 point for each of them: focus breathing for the Air series lens and quality of manual focus for the EVO lens. Coming out of that round, that leaves us now with 5 points for the EVO lens and 4 points for the Air series lens. That brings us to our final and perhaps ultimate round, and that comes to optical performance. So the obvious advantage here right out of the gate is that the EVO lens does have 1/3 stop brighter maximum aperture, so more light gathering potential, potentially having both, faster shutter speeds in different situations, but then also the ability to have a more defocus, softer background. And we're going to see that play out in a few metrics. Now, in this case, obviously the focal length is not identical across these lenses. We have a 50mm and a 55mm. I'm not going to call that an advantage for either one because it really depends on what your personal preference is. Now, as we start to look into some of the other metrics of performance, when it comes to distortion, both of them have very low levels of distortion. The EVO has basically no distortion, whereas the Air series lens has a bit of a pincushion distortion. It's not strong, it's not highly pronounced. However, the fact that it has some distortion, whereas the EVO has zero, gives a win for the EVO lens. Now, when it comes to vignette, both of them exhibit heavy amounts of vignette, and in my test, more so on Z mount than what they did on Sony E mount. When it comes to the EVO lens, I basically had to almost max out the slider, a +98, a little bit less for the Air series, a +89. Both of them are a lot. However, the Air squeaks out a narrow win for requiring a little bit less vignette correction. Now, when it comes to testing on just pure sharpness, wide open, I found that there was give and take. It's hard for me to declare one a clear winner. In the center, I found like the results were mostly the same. In the mid-frame zone, I felt like the Air was actually a little bit sharper, and then as we moved towards the corners, the EVO was a little bit stronger there. When I stopped down to f2.8, again, I found that the center was maybe a hair sharper on the Air series lenses, but the mid-frame and the corners were very slightly sharper on the EVO. But when I'm talking about very narrowly sharper, I'm talking about that if you weren't looking at it at 200% magnification, which is the results that I'm showing you here, you probably wouldn't see the difference. And so I'm not going to give either one of them a point here, but we'll call that neutral. Both of them are as good or better than the other depending on where you look in the frame. And all across, there's no clear win for anyone there. Now, when it comes to overall contrast, as I moved out into more three-dimensional real-world subjects, I found that I slightly favored the contrast from the EVO series. It claims to have apo or apochromatic optical design, and it basically bears out in having just a little bit more micro contrast in just the fine textures and details there. It's not a big margin, but it was enough that I noticed it. When it came to fringing, it was kind of it was a bit of a mixed result. Both of them have fairly low amounts of fringing generally, but I found that the Air series lens had maybe very, very slightly less longitudinal style chromatic aberrations. Those are the ones that show before and after the plane of focus, whereas the EVO had a little bit less, basically no lateral style chromatic aberrations that come near the edge of the frame. Both of them are well enough controlled that I doubt you're going to notice either one in real situations. And so rather than giving a point to both of them, I'm going to just give no points and just call that a draw. I feel like the color rendition is largely the same. And you'll notice across these sample images that I'm showing that basically the colors look pretty much identical between the two. And so again, I'll call that a draw on that front. However, when it comes to the general rendering and the bokeh quality, that's where the EVO lens starts to really separate itself from the Air series lens. I have long praised this lens, and you see it still holds up very, very well in terms of its basic sharpness. It is a fantastically sharp and high contrast lens. However, the rendering from it is a little bit flat. And so the EVO lens gives us a much more nuanced response. And so if you're looking at the general rendering, if you look at images, I think that pretty much everyone would instinctively, their eye would be drawn to the EVO images. They're just a little bit more nuanced. The out-of-focus rendering is more pleasing generally. There is more defocus in the background. And so as a byproduct, its images just pop a little bit and have that extra degree of sparkle that I don't think that the Air lens delivers. I also give it a point for when it comes to the bokeh softness. And so there is less hard edges. As you can see in some of these samples, you can see that the backgrounds just look more diffused, more smooth. And even if I try to equalize the settings and I try to put them at not equal distances away, but try to balance out for the difference in focal length, stop the EVO lens down to f2, it still wins in all of those metrics. Another category I've been looking at is the performance of the bokeh in the corners, because sometimes lenses are okay in the center, but the corners look rough. Again, the EVO wins on that front. It has a little bit more even result right out to the edge in terms of the optical design, to where even the out of focus areas near the edge of the frame look softer. Finally, if we zoom into the specular highlights, the bokeh balls, you'll find that there is more of that onion ring type look in the Air series, whereas the EVO is more neutral. It's, it's bigger specular highlights, bigger and softer, but also smoother inside. And so it basically wins all of the bokeh / rendering points, which obviously make a big difference when it comes to the overall rendering, since both of them are pretty fantastically sharp. And so after that round, the EVO lens has racked up a grand total of 7 different wins, whereas there is only 1 win in these categories for the Air series. And so the Air ends up with just 5 points in our final analysis, whereas the EVO has jumped all the way up to 12 points. And so in terms of just a pure points in the head-to-head, the EVO lens is the winner. So my conclusion is this. The Viltrox AIR 50mm f2, it remains the sharpest $200 or less 50mm lens that I have ever tested before. It is still a fantastic option if you want to travel light and spend minimal amounts of money to get a really amazing prime. However, the new EVO 55mm f1.8 is the better lens. It's more sophisticated in its build, its features, weather sealing. It gives you a more nuanced, high-end optical performance that, as we have recently seen in another comparison, holds up with the Nikon 50mm f1.8s and basically played it to a draw. And that is one of Nikon's very best lenses, I would say, and certainly probably the best 50mm f1.8 that we have seen to this point. And so the fact that the EVO lens is doing that for a reasonable amount of money, if you are freshly buying at this point, I would say the EVO lens is the way to go, unless you absolutely have to have the smaller size and weight. It really is an amazing lens and an amazing value for the money. If you want more information about either one of these lenses, look down in the description. I've got full text and video reviews of them both. There are also buying links for both of them there. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and let the light in.